The power of caps. Crime rates go down. The quality of life goes up. I'm Peter Carl, and this is Chicago Crime Watch. Police in the 18th and 1st Districts are using a new tool to fight crime. They're tapping into a surveillance camera network called Operation Virtual Shield, and it's paying off in a big way.
We had the opportunity to work with the Office of Emergency Management and Communications to actually have the ability to watch the Operation Virtual Shield cameras live, real time, here at the district level. And it's been a tremendous asset to us.
Operation Virtual Shield was initiated in 2004 as a Homeland Security effort. The surveillance cameras are installed throughout the city, concentrating in high, dense populated areas, like the Central Business District. They are not the blue pod cameras that blink on the street. The OVS cameras are covert, and you don't see them.
CPD came up to me about a month ago, 2 months ago, and they actually said, we need to partner up on kind of getting these camera feeds back to the districts because they wanted to. There was a high concentration of burglaries that were taking place along the downtown area.
The 18th District was experiencing a chronic problem of theft from auto in one area, and a pattern of armed robberies at an ATM in another location. In both cases, police used the cameras to help solve the crimes.
We had an emerging crime pattern with ATM robberies. So based on that information, we set up a surveillance of the ATM that was affected by the robberies.
On a night in January, while Parham and other units watched and waited in covert vehicles near the ATM, another officer monitored the scene on the cameras back at the station. That night, they were able to catch 2 offenders during a robbery.
I observed them, from my vantage point, enter the vestibule. There were no customers inside there. They were loitering inside the vestibule for several minutes when the victim came around the corner and entered the vestibule. She said she went to the ATM and she completed her transaction. And when she turned around, this offender we have on the camera right now is standing right behind her, and he tells her, "I'm sorry, but I'll be needing that." And she didn't know what he was talking about, and he showed her the butt of a handgun, and then proceeded to take the money out of her purse.
After robbing the victim, the offenders walked out separately from the ATM. One was apprehended immediately at the end of the block, the other after a brief chase. All of it captured on video.
The cameras themselves are of an excellent quality, and it allows the officers to monitor the cameras where if we put a bait car out there, that they don't have to be in the immediate vicinity.
Sergeant Serafini used the cameras during decoy missions to tackle the theft from auto problem. He says they put a bait car on the street and leave items like packages, computers, and cell phones inside in clear view. So far, they have 15 offenders in custody.
The cameras are so good that we could actually zoom in on their face and see them starting to look around. We could see their eye movements, and it's kind of an indicator that they're getting ready to do something.
You see it from start to finish on how the person either walks up, looks inside the car, paces back and forth, pretty much makes a conscious decision. It's not just a spur of the moment, I'm going to grab that and run.
The 18th District has set up a post at the station where an officer monitors the camera feeds 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's been a great aid. Truly a great aid. And plus, they, in addition to, it gives us an ability to surveil places very discreetly. We can also document actual crime as it occurs.
The fact that the crimes are documented on video has helped with prosecution in the cases. Georgia says they're getting great success rate in court after getting the offenders charged.
Technology is great. It's really changed the way we police, and what's nice about it is capturing those crimes on video, so when it comes to court and prosecution, really the officer's testimony is second. The video stands on itself as to what actually happened and occurred.
Because we have this evidence on video, that the officers are finding that most of the defense are pleading out. They're pleading out the cases, which allows my officers to actually spend less time in court. They don't have to go through a 6-7 hour trial, and allows them to get back on the street quicker and go grab another guy.
The cameras are very effective. I've had a lot of praise from the commanders out in the district. So they're useful, effective, and we made many arrests. And I think the city's safer because of these cameras.
Officials say they would like to see the Operation Virtual Shield camera network expanded to include the private business sector. Chicago police are now strictly enforcing curfew for kids. The crackdown comes as crime statistics in several categories rise in the first 2 months of this year.
When unsupervised children are on the streets late at night, they are potential victims of crime or offenders of crime.
The most alarming rise is homicides, up 14.9% from the same time last year. 22 juveniles have been killed so far this year, and 20 of those homicides were committed by guns.
17% of the shootings occurred after curfew hours between midnight and 4 a.m. Nothing is more important to us than protecting the children of Chicago.
Children 17 years old and younger must be home at 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday nights. They must be home at 10 p.m. on Sundays through Thursday. Police believe strict and swift curfew enforcement will help curb violent crime.
Curfew saves lives, and that parents need to know, have to know, where their children are.
Well, we need to do something before they get killed. We need to stop the killing, stop the violence. And the only way to stop the violence is to get some of our young people off the streets. And when we get them off the streets, crime will go down.
Even high school students are endorsing the curfew call.
I agree 100% that we should have changed our curfews. For one reason, it's because it's safer. Parents and guardians and other family members would now know where their children are.
It is our role in Chicago Public Schools to educate children. Unfortunately, we cannot educate them if they are frightened. We cannot educate them if the teachers are frightened, and we certainly can't educate our children if they are dead. This curfew is important.
Every parent and guardian in this city has the responsibility to protect their children.
The police department is asking Chicago television stations to frequently announce the curfew time and ask parents if they know where their children are. These two Chicago police officers are being called heroes by a retired doctor who suffered a massive heart attack and was found lying on a downtown sidewalk.
I don't know what words to use. I'm kind of a loss for words. I can only thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know it would not have been for your skill, your ability to perform under pressure, and your commitment, I will not be alive today.
As I approached Mr. Sabelli, I realized that he wasn't sleeping. So I checked his vitals. First I called for an ambulance, and I checked his vitals, and once I realized that he had no vitals, I started performing mouth-to-mouth and chest compressions until the ambulance arrived.
That was the first time Hector Sabelli had the chance to meet and thank officers Artemio Pena and Matthew Dorn. Mr. Sabelli also presented the two with a book he had written. Officer Pena learned how to perform CPR 13 years ago while at the police academy, but this was the first time he'd put that training to use. That's the latest from the CrimeWatch news team. I'm Peter Carl. Thank you for watching.